here live at Rolling Out, and we definitely have a live show for you. Why? Because you see three beautiful black women.
I received that.
You received it?
Yes.
Do you receive that, Michelle?
Oh, I received it.
Yeah, received it. Yeah, you received it a long time
I received
ago.
it like when I was born.
I love it. You see why it's going to be live. You see why it's going to be live. But I am the host of the show, Dee Collins, and I am Dee Speaks You Think, because from a life and relationship coaching perspective and a spiritual leadership, I'm going to give you some things to really think about. And these two women here, we're going to be enhanced. I'm going to be enhanced by their beauty, you all, because that's what we do. We enhance one another.
Yes, we
you
do.
know.
Absolutely.
And the topic for
Absolutely.
today, are y'all ready?
Yes.
Are y'all ready?
Drum roll.
Drum roll. Are you ready? Are you ready? Women can have it all.
Yes.
Yes,
We can have it all.
Oh, we
Jasmine
can,
lit up when I said that. Did you see her face? Jasmine lit up. We can have it all. So if you are looking at us, I want you to text someone. Tell someone to tune in right here on D Speaks You Think on Rolling Out Live, because we're going to have some real talk. We're going to give you some nuggets for your life, for your relationships, for your business, for your children. I don't know what all is going to come out of us, because that's just how powerful we are. Now, I want to start it off by educating you all a little bit about what dunamis means. Dunamis, you are a dunamis woman, and I know that's going to tie into this show. I am the founder of Dunamis Woman Enterprise, LLC, and Dunamis Woman Media and Publishing. We just have a whole conglomerate of entities of Dunamis, but the reason why that is because we have a miraculous power, and we have been given a miraculous strength. We have been endowed with a miraculous force. We have been given a violence and a militance to make it happen, to give birth to our dreams, to ideas. Just like you gave birth to those children in the natural, whatever God has endowed in you, in your imagination, you can birth it. That's why we as women can have it all.
Yes.
So I want to introduce the co-host for today. That's Michelle Obasi. Michelle, how are you?
I am doing wonderful.
I got two Michelles.
Yes.
I don't know if I can handle that right
That's
now.
beyond
a lot.
powerful.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
Just
a
the
lot.
name in itself.
That's a lot. Because I feel her energy over here.
Yes.
What does your name mean, Michelle? What does that mean?
Michelle means angel.
Angel.
I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll
Yeah.
take
Very
it.
angelic,
Michelangelo.
very powerful.
Yeah.
Angel
yeah.
Michael. Michael is a
Gabriel,
Michelle.
Michael, the
Yes.
warrior. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
yes.
The deliverer. You
Yeah.
know, I'll take it. I'll take it.
Yes.
Well, Michelle, how you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful. I am
Good,
doing
good.
They always get me. I got to talk in the microphone, everyone. But I'm doing wonderful. I really am. I'm so glad to be here. And I'm very interested in this topic.
Yay.
I am, because it's so necessary and needed. A lot of women
Correct.
just don't understand how much power we really have.
Yes.
So,
to produce.
To produce.
To produce. To produce. To produce. So who is this beautiful Michelle here?
This is Michelle Taylor Willis. Yes! Award-winning entrepreneur, speaker, coach, publisher.
Wife, mother.
Yes.
Yes.
Dynamic woman.
Yes. Yes.
Soul food.
Well, no, don't stop. Just
Just keep going. Just keep going. I can't-
I'm like absorbing this.
Yes,
Right.
yes. And I was talking earlier to Michelle, and we talked about soul food, SOFU.
You.
And it reminded me of Soho, New York. But Michelle is like Trailblaze. And I want you to talk about what you've been doing and what you do for the community, but also just all that encompasses Michelle Taylor Willis.
Yes.
I don't know.
And
how
we
much
only have an
time we
hour.
have.
Right.
I mean, like,
Michelle,
really?
we only have an hour on this show, and we do have some commercials. I'm just letting you know right about now.
I mean, because I could just go. I mean, no. That is a loaded question. I mean, I think if you're speaking professionally, or you the first thing you said was with regard to SOFU and the things that I'm doing in the community. So I'll start there.
Yes, please.
First of all, thank you so much for having me on the show. I'm honored that you guys would even ask. So thanks for finding me. I think Jay connected us,
yes,
right?
he did. Yes, he did.
Yeah. So thanks, Jay. I know you're out there.
Yes,
Yes. Thank you so
Yes.
much. So SOFU it's so interesting that you said that. Did I say that earlier, or did you do this on your own? Just tell me you did it on your own, no matter what the real answer is. Okay?
I did it on
You
my
made
own.
this connection.
Right.
But yeah, it's modeled after Soho in New York. And so with my work with the magazine in South Fulton County, I felt like, I just wanted to find a way to rebrand those 8 cities. There's 8 cities that make up South Fulton County.
Okay. Okay.
And just over the last few years, the area has gotten a lot of bad rap, but there is a lot of positive going on. And outside of the magazine, I wanted to find a really good way to energize and rebrand and just get some excitement going around what South Fulton County has to offer. So I took the first 2 letters from South, S-O. The first 2 letters from Fulton, F-U.
Sofu.
And I came up with SoFu.
Awesome.
And so it's funny because when I first, said this to my business partner at the time in the magazine, and he was like, "That's stupid. It sounds like soul food." And that's what people are going to say. And it's so funny. Sometimes when I do say it, people are like, soul food. Yeah, I'm in, right?
right. Or tofu,
Or tofu, yeah.
yeah.
But what's crazy, and he was kind of joking. He's super supportive, I have to say. But what's happened is that it has literally, it's caught on. So when I first started doing it, right, it was just my network, my friends calling it SoFu, right? But now, I mean, I have people write into the magazine. I have people email me. I have people stop me on the street, and they'll say, I live in SoFu. And it's like people I've never met, right?
Yeah.
I was speaking at an event a couple weeks ago, and I was talking about SoFu. And by the time I finished, there was a young lady that I actually knew. She stood up and she was like, "Listen, have you ever thought about doing a big event like a SoFu family reunion?" And I was like, "I'd love to do it. I don't have the time, but if someone wants to volunteer." So by the time we were done, she had 2 other women that volunteered. And so now we're having a big SoFu family reunion on November 10th for all the cities of South Fulton.
That's beautiful.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So that's that piece that you were asking about initially.
Awesome. When I'm just listening to you, so many things are just coming to mind because definitely you're powerful. You're a dunamis. You're definitely a dunamis woman. Have you ever heard the term dunamis?
I had not before you.
Okay,
And I was like,
right.
once I saw it, I was like, wow, this is interesting. And cool that you would pick that and then use that because, once you attach a name to yourself, once you start calling yourself something, it is absolutely what you become.
It's what you
and
become.
I speak on that.
Yes.
So you have become that, whether you were or not when you first started, clearly that's who you've become. So that's awesome.
And I always have been, but I never knew.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's how
Exactly.
we as women are. We are who we are, but we have to learn how to own it. We have to learn how to walk in that
That's
as we go through that discovery.
Yeah.
But within that every woman is a dunamis woman because it's a power and a force that only God has endowed within us. So you have to become that. And I'm loving it listening to you because the first place that we start is not just in our home, but in our communities.
Right.
And as we see, particularly in our race and in our time, we have a lost sense of community.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And so now
Yeah.
we got this powerful dynamic, and dynamic is the English term for dunamis. You're explosive. So now one idea come out of you, and it just penetrates, and it just goes, and it just goes, and it builds community. And when you build community, you preserve our homes.
Yeah.
So rather you realize that that's what you're doing. And publishing, I could tie all of it in from a spiritual perspective, but I'm gonna take it one at a time.
Yeah,
But
slow roll this for us, okay?
Yeah, they all just tie in together. But that's why we as women, we have to know that we can have it all, but not have it all for us.
Exactly.
Does that make sense?
Oh, I believe it. I speak
that
on
make
that
sense?
all
It really
the time.
does.
Yeah. Life is not for us.
Life is not for
It's
us.
not, no.
So I have a question for you ladies that's going to really ignite this movement within this hour, because it's not for us. It's not about us. But how did it become? How did we become in this era of time so self-centered, so self-absorbed when Black women, even our foremothers and our ancestors, they even made movements and trailblaze that we may live, we may prosper, we may have our ideas, our businesses and things like that. So now we want this dunamis movement to keep going. We want this soulful community to keep thriving. We want this, but we also got to recognize some barriers that we have to come out of ourselves.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
I do.
We do. Historically speaking, and that's why I gravitated and wanted to mention soul food, is because I'm from Chicago. And if you know anything about Chicago, we have some dynamic communities that were started way back when, Bronzeville, South Shore, where I grew up.
Chatham. Let's not leave out Chatham.
Oh, I know. Even my Woodlawn, Inglewood. You hear a lot
yeah.
about these neighborhoods, but back in the day, these neighborhoods were created and buzzes were created. We didn't call it buzzes back then, about the community. Soul Food is really reorganizing and is joining a community again. And just historically, thinking about entrepreneurs and just going from women in history, I think of Madam C.J. Walker. And even though she had an idea, her idea made other women not only entrepreneurs, but made them sustainable, but made just a sisterhood of women, but also it helped families get out of poverty.
Yes.
It helped neighborhoods grow. She was not just in America, she was international. So it actually shed light on even issues that we had in America. By her having this network, it just showed people what was going on here in America from a good standpoint and bad standpoint. So we may look at it like, oh, it's going to be a reunion and it's going to be this and it's going to be that. This is huge because this is the beginning of a movement.
Yeah.
Dunamis is the beginning of a movement. Soulful is the beginning of a movement. The movement of our ancestors. The movement of Madam
I'm blushing.
C.J.
You
Walker.
can't tell because it's brown.
You know, but this is where it started.
But you got
And
those beautiful white
historically-
teeth that I can see you smiling. I can see you
I'm
smiling.
gonna digress.
Thank
I said,
you.
who is her dentist? I saw when I first came. I said,
Is that
"Ooh."
Crest? Does it do that kind of a job?
I'm gonna give so many props right now to Smile Envy.
They're in the magazine, aren't they?
No, they're not.
They're not?
actually.
Okay,
No,
okay.
they're not. But yeah, I can't think of my dentist's name. I know him. We're friends on Facebook. He's gonna kill me.
Don't worry about
But
it.
Lofters, Dave Lofters,
okay.
at Smile Envy.
Okay.
Yeah, they do my teeth. But trust me, he would tell you, like, don't be fooled by what you see. That inside is a mess.
It's that outside. The
They're like
facade looks
literally,
good. Don't
like
matter.
inside is like a constant work of, I mean, it's a labor of love. My husband's like, we have to like make money just so for you to pay for your teeth. Like, what happens in that house? You like eat rocks for snacks? Like, it's insane. But thank you.
No, but
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
but
so-
that's
But
real.
what was resonating in your heart and your mind when she said soul food is a movement?
Well, it's interesting. So again, spirits talk, right? We talked about this when we first came in, and so I feel like when you first enter a room, your spirit starts talking to people, about people, with people before we ever do, right?
Yes.
And so I say that because you said Sofu is a movement, and it is. That's what I call it. It's not a thing. It's not an area. It's a movement.
It's a movement.
And I actually have a presentation, and the title of the presentation, Michelle, is the Sofu Movement.
Oh, wow.
So what it does is make my heart sings, right? Because literally, what we are trying to do is encapsulate a lot of energy and love and excitement that has not lived in South Fulton County for a long time. It has, but no one's been able to bring it out.
And it's there.
And it's been
there.
quiet. It's
there.
there.
It's there.
It's
And really,
there.
to be honest, that's that dunamis.
That is
That's dunamis.
Absolutely.
Dunamis is that power of God, that resurrection force and power that brings dead things alive.
Yes. Yeah. And that's what it was
Yeah.
because, if you go back to South Fulton, 40 years ago, 50 years ago, I mean, that's where the greats lived. A
Yeah,
lot of the greats still live in
Yes,
that
they
area.
Do. They do.
Right?
They do. They
But
do.
nobody knows it. When they think about South Fulton or Sofu, they're like, Cascade, or, why do you want to be down there? And so now we have all these great movements coming, right? We've got the Aerotropolis. My boy, Shannon James, I'm giving a shout out to Shannon, who is the president of the Aerotropolis Alliance. So the Aerotropolis, he's rebranding the whole South Side as the Aerotropolis, right? I mean, that's not just South Fulton County, but that's Clayton.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
Henry. That's the South Side, right? We've got this Aerotropolis. We've got Sofu. We now have the city of South Fulton, which is in Sofu. So we have all of these wonderful things that are happening south of Atlanta
Yes.
that,
yes.
before just the south side of Atlanta
Yeah,
was talking
yeah,
about. And
yeah.
now it's creeping up. It's creeping up to Midtown. It's creeping up to to Buckhead. It's creeping up north. It has to,
Right,
you know.
right.
So they're all movements. And I'm honored that, I've got people that are kind of getting behind the vision. None of this happens with one person.
No,
I'd
it does
love
not.
to say I'm that awesome, but
No, it does
I'm
not.
not good enough to do it by myself.
And before we go to a break, I just want to say this to you because we only have like 45 seconds maybe, because you publish a magazine, South Fulton, but I want you to know that you're not just a publisher because of this paper right here, because of this. A publisher, I hear you. A publisher literally means to be able to proclaim, hear intelligently. And you embody that spirit of a publisher. It's not about the print. It's not about the layout. It's not about the magazine, because you're always branding people. And that's the beautiful part about community. People reside in our hearts. You never forget. I give a shout out to this, and I give that person that, and I give that person that, and even my dentist, he's going to kill me. But reality is, in your heart lives people.
Yes.
And that's what I want you to
Yes.
know before we take this break. Well, I am
Thank
Dee
you.
Collins, D Speaks You Think.
Thank you.
I am a dunamis woman, but we'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Your favorite entertainment source has expanded. Rolling Out, the nation's best source for entertainment and lifestyle information, now has a lineup of web-based shows and podcasts on its newest platform, Rolling Out Live, every Tuesday from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. For all things related to the spirits industry with 100 Proof Radio Show to cuisine with La Kitchen, and inspiration and relationships with Dunamis Women and Lipstick and Cognac. Rolling Out Live is your weekly digital destination. So tune in every Tuesday on rollingout.com and Rolling Out on Facebook. Don't miss it.
What's up, guys? This is Lipstick and Cognac. Starting on Tuesday, you guys will be on rollingout.com and on our Facebook page, giving you all the tea you need for relationships. Here to help you out, man. Make sure y'all tune in from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Want to watch your favorite talk show, Lipstick and Cognac. Here with that dynamic duo, you don't want to miss Lipstick, Shadio Comics, and this Cognac till like it is personality, man. It's gonna be a great time. Make sure y'all tune in. Tune in on rollingout.com. There's ROLLINGOUT.com, and also on Facebook, Rolling Out Facebook, man. It's gonna be a great time. Y'all don't want to miss this. Great laugh, great talks, realness, truth. Man, we ain't race expert. We know what we talking about. So make sure y'all tune in. Rollingout.com, man. Lipstick and Cognac.
Well, we are right back here on D Speaks You Think, and it's real talk about life and relationships. And you all, I just want to let you know that when you hear the term life and relationships, please don't limit it to just man and woman and all that stuff right there. If you don't have rich relationships with powerful sisters like this, you know what I mean? The other stuff, you know, you could probably kind of like put it on the back burner, you know, because it's women who have each other's back. It's women and sisterhood that comes together and build communities and labor and things like that. And this is what I believe, you all, needs to be reestablished and rebirthed in the earth.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Are you with
Definitely.
me? You know? And I've got two powerful angels right here, Michelle Obasi and Michelle Taylor Willis.
Stop.
Is it Wilson or Willis?
Willis.
Willis.
Like, what you talking about?
I don't want to disrespect your husband. Willis. All right.
Yes, please.
But
I don't want to hear from Sir Willis later.
Like, what's she talking about?
Yes,
you know.
yeah.
But ladies, let's give a shout out to Jay Wesley.
Jay,
Jay
Wesley.
Wesley. What's up, Jay?
Jay
Oh,
gave
Jay.
us a shout on Facebook. We just want to shout you back.
Yes,
So,
absolutely.
Thank you.
And we want some cocktails. Why don't we have cocktails in here, Jay?
Right,
Where's my
exactly.
cocktail?
Right. And, you know, I gave a shout out to him because it is that real awesome man who connected
He
us
connected
three.
all three
Yep.
of us together.
He
He sure
connected
did.
us, you know.
He sure did.
And you never forget who connected you. You never forget
Never.
how it began, you know. So we know we got more to come, ladies, together. But for right now, we're going to talk a little bit more about how women can have it all.
All right, let's
How
do
wo-
that.
Who
I love
came
that
up with
topic.
that? Who came up with that? Michelle, you or this
I
Michelle
came
here?
up with the title because of knowing I was going to be here with the two of you. And just watching, for anyone who doesn't know, Dee is my coach, spiritual coach, life coach, and I'm an entrepreneur as well. And I remember first coming into her office, had my own coaching business, and I was like, you know, all grandiose and everything. And she was like, honey, you don't need business coaching. You need life coaching. There's something wrong with you. But it's been 8 years later. She was right.
Still
But
is.
It has helped me grow tremendously. But knowing women can have it all, I'm looking at Michelle, and I'm looking at her bio, and I'm on her site, and I see all of these different streams. Then I look at you, and then I'm like, okay, I know who she is. We're very close, but I see all these different streams. And I'm not talking about streams of money. I'm talking about resources. I'm talking about wealth of information.
Yeah.
And so women can have it all, because then I also know on the opposite side, I know women who are stuck. I'm
Yeah,
just going to be real
yeah,
honest
yeah,
with you,
yeah.
who are stuck and stagnant, who believe that they can only have a 9 to 5, who believe that they can't do anything until their children go to college, who believe so many different things about life. And so that's why I named it you
Women
can have it all. Women in business.
Yeah.
To really allow women to glean from the two of you.
And I want to say something before we get to Michelle, because when I heard that topic, the first thing that came is when, it was like over 20 years ago, I know, because my children were very young. And I heard the Spirit say, if you give it up, you can have it all. And I did not know what that meant. But going back to what you were saying, being stuck, I was stuck in a toxic relationship. I was stuck in my own self without emotional healing. I was stuck in areas of my own mind and the barriers, and I had to go through that process. And it wasn't about me giving up the relationship. I had to give up myself. I had to face some things that was very difficult for me to face, because when you're in this big old house and you have the American dream look, and you have the beautiful children, and the socks and the panties and the barrettes match, and everything is just so meticulous, people can misperceive you, and you misperceive yourself.
Yes.
It can make it seem like it's altogether lovely, but within, I had to come to a place and say, let it all go to find me.
Yes.
And that's when I discovered the woman. I discovered who I am. I discovered that I have a place in this earth beyond the house, the cars, the wifehood, the motherhood. And don't get me wrong, all of that is wonderful. But when you close the door at the end of the day, my question is, do you really know who you are? Do you really know who you are? So what is your take on that, Michelle? Because you look like a woman that have done some introspection, self-evaluation, and all
Every
that
day.
stuff, all that, and you're on the move now.
All the time. So one of the things, I say this, and I hope my friends and people who know me would agree with this, but I'm pretty self-aware.
Yeah.
I know exactly the things that I get wrong every day.
Yes,
I can call them out. Like, I know exactly what I'm going to mess up today. I'm
Okay.
pretty sure I'm going to, there's a couple of things I'm going to screw up today, right?
Right.
But I know
I
what
agree.
I know what I'm good at. I'm good at like 2 to 3 things, and that's it. Everything else is a crapshoot, right? But I say that to say, I spend a lot of time thinking about how I can be better.
Yes.
Okay.
And so when people, I used to have this thing, I might start doing it again. People would ask me, how's it going, Michelle? Or how are you doing? And I'm like, listen, I'm better today than I was yesterday. And that's really just my goal.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like incremental steps to being better. So I'm a huge fan of therapy.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
everybody should have a therapist. Like,
Yeah.
we need people to talk to that aren't our friends, or people that are going to make judgments
Correct,
about us, whether
correct.
they want to or not.
Correct.
People are going to judge you. It's just that you can't help it.
And that's why.
And so,
But even in spite of being, for me, and I'm gonna let you go back, and a publisher and a speaker and all that stuff that I do, the spiritual life coaching is very at the top of the list.
Yes.
I'm a clinical therapist, but coming from the clinical therapy and the spiritual aspect of knowing the journey of what it takes from a spiritual aspect and marrying the two. Because I want women to have it all.
Right.
I want us to be prosperous. So if I put this, that at the forefront, of my life, I will lose my mission, and my main purpose is that don't lose the woman, and when you, and the woman has to know. I could tell you my issues.
yeah,
I could tell you when it's surfacing.
right.
I could tell you when I'm speaking out of my pain and I'm speaking out of my wholeness. It don't mean I ain't gonna say it.
Right, exactly.
I'm just giving you a heads up. This pain about to come out right now.
Right.
So yeah, go back to what you were saying. Though.
Well, no, I agree. All of that, but you can't, so I believe in especially mental health, and we see this all the time
Yes,
now
yes,
with women.
yes.
People aren't talking. I think a lot of the things, a lot of the places where we are now, you alluded to this earlier, just in community, is because, we're not dealing with issues that are there.
Yes, that's right.
We all
That's
have
right.
hurt, we all have pain, we've all screwed stuff up, and we've had people screw us. And not in the way we'd like to be.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Am I allowed to say that?
Yes,
Yes,
you are.
yes. Free flow.
Ain't
And
nothing like
so-
a good screw.
Yeah, there you go. Is exactly what she said. Okay. And so we need to deal with that.
Yes.
The reason we have so many challenges as adults is because as children, our parents were taught to brush stuff under
Yes,
the
yes.
rug. Our
Particularly
parents
in
were
our
taught,
race.
especially in
our-
the black
The
community.
black
Yes.
community.
We
yes.
don't deal with this stuff.
Yes.
Stuff happens to us, and we just say, hey, we're going to deal with it, or we don't believe it, or you know what? shake it off and keep on
Yes,
moving.
yes, yes.
But
yes.
we got to shake that crap off somewhere. Otherwise, it's going to get shook off on everybody else 30, 40 years later.
and
right?
And when we say
so-
women can have it all, I look at it from the good or the evil. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
If I don't,
Absolutely.
if I don't deal with myself, there's good in everyone.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes, there
and
is.
there's evil in everyone.
Yes.
And evil always wants to come and hinder your good and your greatness,
Right.
shall I say?
Right.
You know, but we have to look at those things and look within ourselves, because in your evil is your good, and in that is your greatness.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Say that one more
Absolutely.
time.
In your evil is
In
your
your
good.
evil is your good, and in your good,
is
it
your
leads you to your greatness when you deal with the evil. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And so in that's how you discover dunamis. Dunamis is you didn't ask for it.
Right.
You know, God gave us
Right.
this miraculous force, power, and strength that while you're looking for him to do something, he says, Michelle, I already gave it to you. Michelle, I already gave it to you. Don't let all those issues cloud that, but you can't go around it. You have to
Right.
face it,
Yes.
because
Yes.
even in that pain is your power. Even in that pain is your prosperity.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about prosperity that, Michelle, when you leave this earth, your name will still be living in
That's
South
legacy.
Fulton.
That's
It's a
exactly
legacy.
right.
Legacy.
And your children will be known by the name.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
that's exactly
Your
right.
children
That's the
will
goal.
prosper because that's the goal. That's the
That's the whole
goal.
goal.
That's the
Yeah.
goal. You will be
Yeah.
speaking from eternity. You will be speaking
Yes.
on earth throughout eternity. You know what I mean?
That's the
Because
goal.
of what you do. Now, what you want to say, how you want to speak. You know, because when I leave, my name shall live.
Yes.
He said,
And
"Make
that's
your
why
name
women can
One
have
way
it
or the
all,
other.
one way or the other.
Right.
So are you just doing a business just to say, I did a business and I'm going to make me some money and I want to be known as a millionaire so I can have my cars? Or are you impacting lives?
Right.
And I want to say something, because we just had a retreat over the weekend.
Yeah,
Understand
yeah.
Your Greatness coaching program. We had women from all over the United States.
Oh, wow.
And it was a very intimate group on purpose.
And I didn't get invited to this because
It's coming,
why?
it's
It's
coming,
coming,
it's coming.
it's
Because you was out
coming.
of town celebrating your birthday.
Okay. All right.
You were
Okay.
celebrating
We're not
your
anything
birthday.
else, we're quit.
And I know the next time, since she even have it in her magazine, September is my month. Okay.
Yes.
Well, go ahead.
But in that weekend, I saw transformation. And it goes back to what you just said. What is this life about? What is this road about? It's not all about making money. It's about your impact.
Yes.
Because in the lives of those women, that you've not only impacted them, but you've impacted their household, their children. And when they go, they're going to be saying, hey, D this, D that, but they're giving God the glory. But it was what you allowed God to do with your life with these women. And then I also want to touch on with you, Michelle, if you can talk about, you have your conference coming up, and I know this is just one way. So please tell us about it, because in looking at it, this is one way in which you are impacting women. It's not about, you said it was intimate, which we loved. That lets me know it's not about dollars and cents.
Right.
Now,
It's
that's
about
what I
the
loved
people.
about it. You
So
know?
share what
Yeah.
you're doing
Right.
with that conference.
So thank you. And so it's interesting because when you say, this show is about women can have it all, the name of the conference is the Moms All In Conference. And it's for entrepreneurial women, entrepreneurial mothers who want to have it all. And so I stole this line from someone a couple weeks ago that said, you know what, you can have it all. You just can't do it all.
You can't do
Right?
it all. Yeah.
And at this conference, that's what we talk about. We talk about how do you build a life where you can literally have it all. And so we've got dynamic speakers. I've got a panel of, the most phenomenal women. On our lunch panel, I've got Michelle Ruth, who is the Chief Enterprise Architect of Coca-Cola, so C-suite. We've got Tanisha Bell, was former executive producer at CNN, now has her own PR company. We've got Juliette Hall from Own Your Opportunities. She was executive level at Chick-fil-A and Wachovia Bank. We've got Stephanie Kennedy, who's a managing broker at Weichert Realtors. Annie Hoffman, who is a celebrity media trainer. A lot of athletes you see online or acting, she's trained them. So that's just the lunch panel.
Yeah.
On finding the balance, right? But we're going to be covering everything from mental health, physical health, sexual health, talking about good screws, right? I'm sorry.
I will be on that panel in the
I had to
background.
say it was just,
Yeah.
and then, setting up businesses
Yeah.
legally and financially,
Financially.
for success. managing your brand and how to market yourself, being more than just a logo.
I love that part.
Oh yeah, that's
Being
the
more
title
than
of it,
just
more
a
than just the
logo.
logo.
I love
You know,
that
how to really
part.
brand and market your business. Mia Martin's
Yeah.
going to be doing that.
Yeah.
She is literally become like the chief marketing expert in Atlanta.
Okay.
So I mean, we're just covering A to Z, right?
Okay.
Because as mothers and as women, you know, we have these lives that we try to lead, and somewhere we get lost in the process.
And we
You know
were,
what I mean?
We were lost in the process before we even knew that there was a process.
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
I mean, and
we were thrown into.
yeah, and that's what we know. We were taught coming out the womb, please people and not really know who I am.
Right.
And so we're
Right.
doing things thinking we're lost, but who is that woman that has never even been discovered? So it's a
Exactly.
detriment even when
Exactly.
you have lost who you've never known.
Right.
You know,
Right.
I
Right.
love when you said you can have it all, but you can't do it all.
You
And I
can't do
want
it
to
all.
add a little bit to that.
Yeah.
I know I'm coming to the conference and
You are?
Yeah,
Yes,
I
yes.
am. I'm
What
definitely
date?
going to
Tell
come
us the
October
date.
20th.
Saturday, October
Saturday,
20th.
October
It's at
20th.
the Ellis Hotel.
I'm going to be
Yeah.
there.
Great.
And I want
Yay.
to grow with you all in this because that
Absolutely.
dunamis has to come forth.
I would love to
that
envelope that dunamis.
Yeah,
because
it
this
has
is
to
the
come
first time.
forth.
This is just the first this is just the first one. But
Oh,
we're
it's
going
gonna
to
be
doing
so
these
many.
seminars one day all over the nation. We want to have
Oh.
a big
Michelle, I'm going to
two-day
be right
event.
there with you.
All
'Cause
right.
it's that dunamis. It's not
It
me.
is.
It's that dunamis.
It's dunamis.
But I want to add a term right there for the women just now. Give you a little heads up. You can have it all, but you can't do it all. And I want to say now. So many of us as women, and I coach women. You know, I even tell some women who are in my coaching atmosphere, is that just because you have this gift, just because you have this idea, just because you have this business, just because you have that, don't try to get it all now at the expense of your family,
There you
at
go.
the expense of your children.
Yes.
You know what I'm
Yes.
saying?
Of
At
yourself.
the expense. I know one lady, you know, she's building her business, and I mean, she never spends time with her husband. I say, if you don't go in there and shut that shop down, you know what I mean? Take care of your man. You know what I mean? You know what to do. I ain't got to give you no guidance on that. Loose the woman. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then come back, because you will get more in that little time than you tried to do with all this up
Right.
front. You know what I mean?
That's your refuel.
That's your refuse. If
Yeah.
if God has given you a child in this era of time, and they may be 8, 7, 6, mine is 28 and 30, 29 and
Wow.
30. I have a 10-year-old granddaughter. I've been an entrepreneur all my life. You know what I'm saying? But I did not try to get it all then, because I had to learn how to divide that and be the mother. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Be that. But now I can go do whatever, whenever, because I gave them what they needed, that the nest is empty and they're self-sufficient.
Right.
You know what I mean? I put a demand on them. I'm not paying for your college education. I'm not working for that, because that's your education. And even my daughter now proudly saying she's working in the business with me. That's legacy.
Great.
That's it.
That is
You see what I'm saying? That's
Absolutely.
legacy. You know, so you can't have it all now. Don't try to get it all at one time.
No.
Allow that time, and in the long run, you can go for the gusto.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Don't try to eat all at one time.
Nope. How do you eat an elephant?
One bite at a time. But I'm going to leave
Yes.
the rest of it for the conference, because it's going to be amazing. All the beautiful panelists that
Can't
you all
wait.
have
It's gonna
scheduled.
be
And I can't wait
incredible.
to receive.
Yeah. I am too. I'm
Yeah.
planning, and I tell people, like, as I'm going through the list, and I say, like, you know what? I want to sit in on these sessions.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
want to get there, because it's going to be good stuff.
It's
I'm
going to
very
be great
excited about
stuff.
it. Yeah,
It's going
I'm
to
really
be,
excited about
and
it.
the thing is, where it's going to be afterwards is how to apply it to your life with specificity.
Absolutely.
We go to
Yes,
conferences, we go here.
Come
I could
home.
be standing out in the line of women that are loose. Okay, here's my coaching card. Here's my coaching card, because I want to show you how to.
Right. No, exactly.
With specificity, because your
Exactly.
home is not my home. Your
Absolutely.
life is not my life. Your cheering ain't my cheering.
Well, we
You know, in that
well,
case.
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, we give one of the direction. We actually had a call this morning with all the speakers, and I've given them specific direction that one of the things you have to do is leave people with go-dos.
Yes,
When they
yes.
leave your session, they should have at least, well, just 3 things. If you give them 3, they might do 1,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Yes.
Right.
But
Don't
of
give 'em
things
too
that they can go and apply immediately, that's going to change their business
Yes.
or their life or whatever.
Yes,
So
yes.
It's a big deal.
It's going to be a big deal. Well, you all, we're going to come right back. We're going to have some more talk on how women can have it all.
Yes,
And we're
yes.
going to leave you with at least 3 things.
There
we
you
want you
go.
to do 1 for today.
There you
But
go.
we're going to come back with Michelle Taylor Willis and Michelle Obasi, and I am Dee Collins, because when Dee speaks, you think. We'll be right back.
Hey everyone, it is your favorite politician, Representative Erica Thomas, and I'm excited to tell you about the Erica Thomas Show, where we break down news and politics in layman terms where everybody can understand it. We start off the show with hip hop and politics, where we might interview your favorite celebrity and we break down hip hop and let you know that it's the same thing as politics, baby. And also coming up after that, we have kids and politics, where we bring on your favorite kid stars and they tell us all about how they feel about politics. And then right after that is the hit list, where we tell you about the fails of the week. Who failed this week in the news and who do we need to know about? It's all happening at 6 o'clock every single Tuesday. I said 6 o'clock every single Tuesday. So you better tune in. You better tune in. You better not miss it. I mean, you better not miss it. The Erica Thomas Show is on live.
This week on The Kitchen.
Yeah. Hold up. Tune in. All right.
We got Trans Lee.
I just want to answer what y'all asking.
We got Gray. DJ DiBiase.
All right. Yeah. Hold up.
Chef Chrissy.
Yeah. Hold up. Tune in.
Porcelain Gold.
For the Grammy, yeah, I thought you'd know. The kitchen got the fix and enjoy the show. Alright, well, that's the show, man. I thank y'all for coming. Then it was Thursday. Next time, I hope you join us, man.
God blessing me often. I'm still living in an apartment. I know they keeping my deposit. I got burn holes in the carpet.
All I know is old. All I know is bold. All I know is stoves. Look inside the door.
All right.
Well, we are ready.
Welcome,
We are here. Go
welcome.
ahead.
Oh, welcome back to D Speaks You Think. We were ready. You know, whether we're moving or not, we always ready.
Michelle over there, you know,
stay ready.
when,
You don't have to
when
get
this
ready.
phone go low, it's like we crackheads. I need a charger. I need a charger. I need a charger. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, but welcome back to D Speaks You Think. If you are just joining us, I am Michelle Obasi, co-host. This is the host, Dunamis D Speaks You Think, and we have the wonderful Michelle Taylor Willis here.
Yes.
Community builder, advocate, award-winning entrepreneur, and of course, strategic life coach. D Speaks You Think. I wanted to acknowledge all of the wonderful people who have been following us on Facebook. We did not forget you. Jackson Smith III, giving a shout out to Michelle.
What up,
Thank
Trey?
you. Spencer Whitelow, thank you so much for letting us know about the volume. And Sharon Martin says she wants the conference in Chicago.
We are working on it. Sharon, if you get me some people in Chicago, I will make sure I bring this conference to you.
Well, you know, we're from the shot, so we can help you make that
And
happen.
Sharon-
We're from the shot.
Yes.
Actually, Chicago is one of our markets.
Yeah,
we have
yeah,
5
yeah.
specific cities
Yeah.
we want to roll this one-day seminar out to,
Mm-hmm.
and Chicago is one of the places. So
Yeah.
listen, guys, don't play with me.
Yeah. No.
So you heard that, Sharon.
And I'm actually on my 2019. I begin my Healing for My Soul
Yes.
tour.
Uh-oh.
You
Yes,
know,
yes.
to ignite dunamis within women. It's called Unleashing the Woman Within.
I love it.
You know,
Powerful.
so Chicago is one of those. So we may
Nice.
have to
do some collaboration.
do some collaboration on that. Yeah.
So I just wanted to acknowledge, but we were coming back in, and what were you saying?
I don't know. What was I saying? Ah.
Yeah, memory is not my
right.
thing.
You know what? I was just playing. I knew what you were saying. I was trying to transition
Yeah.
people.
Because
She
you know,
didn't
you
pick it
got
up.
my mind on so many things. But what we were saying before we left the break was what?
We were talking about
Women having it all.
having it all, and
Don't
all the
try to
different
do it
things.
all
And you
now.
said, "Don't try to do it all now." And
Now.
and here's what I would add to that, because I love that, and it's great. I might add that. You can't do it all now, because one of the questions I get a lot, I get it from people that are younger, I get it from people that are older, and they say, "How do you do all of this stuff?" I mean, because they meet my kids. Let me just tell you something. I have 4 of the most incredible kids, and I'm not just saying this because they're mine.
Yeah.
Like literally.
No, that's because they're your husbands.
There you go.
There you go.
He texts you again, didn't he? But like my kids are better than I can ever be in life. My children are like, I am not a good enough person to have my kids. So let me just say that seriously. But people meet my kids and they're like, how are your kids, this, and how do you do triathlons, and how do you work out all the time, and how do you bake? I cook from scratch. I love to cook and bake. I had an online bakery for a while, right?
Awesome.
So I make like homemade yeast rolls and cupcakes. And how do you do this? And how do you do all of these things? And the way I do it is because I realize that I can't do it all now, but I have so many great support systems and things in place.
Yes.
And I've trained myself and people with whom I interact, including my kids, train my children to be able to be better for themselves. Like you said, once you're out of the nest, your children, you're paying for them in college. That's crazy. It's great.
Yeah.
But there are ways that you can do it all or have it all without having to do it all and without having to do it all now. But it is specific. It is intentional. It is deliberate with the people that you put around you and the processes that you put in place to make it happen.
And we have to know first of all, you have to know the era of time of which you're living in.
Yeah.
And because things have changed, it doesn't mean the spiritual principles of life have changed. So what we have a tendency to do as a woman, I can't compare myself to your life as an entrepreneur. I can't compare myself as a woman.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because what I'm even hearing with your children, because of you are mom, he is dad, you are wife, he is husband.
Yes.
Those are you all's children.
Yep.
There's no steps, no corners. There's nothing around that. Those are yours. So your children, whether they're sons, daughters, they have emotional stability.
Yeah.
And a lot of us, because we're doing so much, we're into the what. You all got the what down pat. Everybody got the what, but I'm going to forever harp on the who, and as I was a single mom, you know what I mean? Now, because I'm single don't mean I got him by myself. Evidently, there's a dad somewhere. You know what I mean? Some sperm flowed. You know what I mean? So I have to now look at my reality. And so with that, my child or my children, they did have emotional deficits. You see what I'm saying? And we don't want to think that because our world have said, oh, you're single and you got it and you can get married. There's some emotional issues that's going on.
Absolutely.
Because of how God originated it. And I pray with every fiber of my being that you and your husband stay even more united, more in sync, more stable. That's your legacy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It don't mean I can't leave this, but I have to have a strategic plan for my life.
Right.
Everybody has a plan, but do you have that strategic plan based upon the emotional aspect, the spiritual aspect of what's happening in your life?
Right.
Because I have to now not look at that as we go back to the beginning of this conversation. I have to face it. I have to deal with that.
Yep, you do.
I
Yep.
have to deal with it. So many are
We do.
successful, but their kids are maybe on drugs. They dibbling and dabbling. They sneaking folks in the house. I'm so serious.
Yeah.
It's in communities
Absolutely.
that looks wonderful, have nice
but
homes.
here's the thing, though, and this is where you guys were talking about this earlier, and we didn't delve into it, but now is the perfect time.
Yeah.
Because the community looks different.
It
when
does.
we were growing up,
Yes,
when we were
It
growing up,
does.
like that stuff didn't happen because people were telling on you.
They were telling on
Yeah,
you
your
and
parent-
reprimanding you.
And reprimanding you.
Yeah.
And you were scared. Like, I'm scared of my mom right now.
Yeah.
And
I'm scared
I'm
of my
44,
mom.
right?
Okay.
I'm scared of my
But-
mom, and she's deceased.
Exactly.
Because I know,
You know,
I'm
she's
like,
gonna-
she will come back. She actually came in a dream of someone and gave my sister instructions. I'm so serious.
Yeah, I mean, you can't outrun these
I'm like,
people.
I thought she was dead.
Yeah, they're like, no, they're never dead. No,
No, they're not.
they're not. But that's what happened. And so in building this community, and that's why, like, I volunteer with the United Way. I'm on their advisory board for South Fulton. I've chaired a couple of their campaigns. I chair the campaign cabinet. But because, the community is where it's at. And I would encourage anybody, if you ever want to have anything to do with the United Way, which everybody should, go to unitedway.org, go to the website and volunteer, give your time, your money, your resources, whatever.
I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that.
Absolutely,
I'm
because
going to do that.
somebody's, we have to fill in the gap.
Yeah, I'm
We
going to do
have
that.
to fill in the gap, and we are in South Fulton, specifically in SoFu. There are 43,000 kids that are in need.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
no food.
Yeah.
They don't have clothing. They
Yeah.
can't get to school. They can't get to school.
Can't get to school.
And so somebody, we have to fill that need.
We do, and that's why we have our not-for-profit Dunamis Community Advocate Services.
Wow.
And my daughter spearheads that. She runs that in Chicago, but she's out there with kids who are less fortunate, and she mentors 500 with herself alone.
Wow.
But we have a pageant. We have that for the young men as well as that. So, Michelle, I just believe we're connected, and I believe that it's just so much that's on the horizon for that. And I definitely will get involved with United Way, because I used to be connected with United Way in Elgin, Illinois.
Oh, wow. And it's
they're all over.
principles
Yeah,
are the same.
they're
And
the
I'm-
same.
Yeah, and I'm affiliated with the Boy Scouts of America as well. I mean, anything with kids, because the kids are it.
Yeah,
Our next
mean,
generation.
they are.
that's
There's the
the
future
kids.
generation.
They're the future.
They are
I mean,
future
we've gotta
generations.
get these guys now. And
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
But that's
yes.
what we're missing, the community. I mean, so there's this huge gap in community where, and it's not just about the home, because it does all start with home. I
It
believe
does, it
that.
does, it
Mom,
does.
dad, mom, just dad, whatever it is, it starts at home. But that community, that lack of community, that sense of community is gone.
It is.
It is.
And
It
so
is.
we have to find
And we're
a way
responsible.
we are
responsible.
We own all of it.
We have the, and you. What do you say? You're 44, young,
44,
tender, looking
yeah.
like you're 24.
Well, you know,
Mr. Willis Mr. Willis is a wise man.
He's very smart.
He's a very smart
He's
man.
much.
and lucky
I call him
man.
Sir Willis. Sir Willis is much smarter than me.
Well, he chose you.
Exactly.
He chose.
So there's that.
So there's that. But the reality of it is that we are responsible, and we have to take initiative, to be able to implement and volunteer and do what we need to do to restore that. You're 44, I'll be 55.
Oh,
so
wow.
community, even in the 10-year span,
Right.
11-year span, have lost so much.
Oh, my
but
gosh,
I
it's-
do
yeah.
remember, Miss Sampson, who will correct you. And I was so scared that, when she told my mama, because she was going to correct me again.
Yeah.
And even Maya Angelou said it in her quote so beautifully, it takes a village.
It
It
does.
does take
It takes
And
a
we're going
village.
to talk about that. I'm leading a session at the Moms All In Conference Saturday, October 20th at the Ellis Hotel. And it's called Building a Village.
Yeah.
And it's how you specifically choose people that can help you with your children.
Yeah, you can.
That can help you with your life so you don't have to do it all. Because
Yeah.
think about it, our moms had
Yeah.
that, and they didn't always work.
And you
We
have
still
to,
had a village,
and you have to
right?
be
Yes, we
willing to
did.
face. As I
And our
stated
teachers.
before, you
And our
have to be
teachers,
willing
yeah.
to face the truth, though, of where you are now.
Yes.
I'm not from Atlanta, so everywhere I basically go right now, I have to use my GPS, and so I
Well,
can't.
I live in Atlanta, and I use my GPS still everywhere. The traffic is just
Right,
too
but
much.
it first tell you and ask you where you're located.
Right.
So where's our community located?
Wow.
I used to run a child welfare agency where I got young men out of prison for the state of Illinois, and so I've had over about 6,000 juveniles who really come in my custody. And the key deficit was the mom as the woman not really knowing who she was, but her children were impacted.
Yes.
So they were in that custody, but even bringing them in, I had to first locate the arresting issues. And I took a population that the agencies rejected because of the severity of the crime rate, but the recidivism was lower and lower and lower because the goal was prevention from being in the penitentiary. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So now that even as God has brought me out and put me on the quest of what I'm doing now, I still see the same things. I still see the same mindsets, So instead of working for intervention, I have built these conglomerate of entities that we work in prevention. And that's what you're saying.
That's it.
That's
We
what you're
gotta
saying,
start-
prevention.
It's like starting over, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we got to go back, way back
Yeah.
to the beginning.
Yes,
Back
yes.
to basics. I mean, the same principles, the same fundamentals, because that stuff doesn't change.
No, it doesn't.
You know
No,
what
it
I
doesn't.
mean?
It doesn't.
And so if we can get that right and then bind with other people,
Yeah,
align
yeah,
with
yeah,
other people,
yeah,
that
yeah.
that's how we build the community back, right? That's what
Yes.
makes SoFu stronger,
And you
Buckhead,
have
wherever
yeah,
we are,
yeah.
right?
And I want you to know, Michelle Taylor Willis, that Michelle Obasi over here, she's a true historian and a teacher of history. So, Michelle, I want you to interject that because when you do things like this, I could talk about dunamis all day long because it is the power of God. I could, your community and what you're doing and you're putting in the effort and the moms, but until that history comes to light, you know what
Love
I'm
history,
saying?
absolutely.
Just speak about that briefly from a historical standpoint of how the generations have become more decadent and who we are from how that happened.
You know, I always, whenever I talk, history did not start in America. Our history is very rich. Our history is ancient.
It's dominant.
And our history involves us knowing who we are because we were so connected to our Creator. Knowing who we are because we were so connected in community. We were know who we are because we were connected as far as relationships. Not just man and woman, but mother, son, husband, wife, sisterhood, community, tribe. And so when we came over here, a lot of that got skewed. When we were brought over here, a lot of it got skewed. But we are a very resilient people.
Yes, we are.
So you cannot take what's already in our DNA.
They can't. They couldn't
and
take it.
so that is what we're now have to pull from when you say we have to start over.
Yeah.
We have to go back to
Yes.
the very beginning. We
The
have
very
to go
beginning.
back to before things that we don't even know about, and that's where that spirit comes in that you talked about. We have to allow that to really resonate with us and learn who we are.
Yes.
Not
yes,
just
yes.
individually, but
Yes.
as a community. And once we do that, the principles never, ever change.
Right.
And
Yes.
the purpose
Yeah.
for us being here will never, ever change. Our paths may be a little bit different, but we have very great models.
And I firmly believe, even us as a people, how we were taken into captivity, slavery, whatever, that was permitted because that power, that dunamis is in us and it can never be taken.
Right.
And if you allow that, see, nobody can't take nothing from me. I can allow that to be taken. But regardless of it, it's still in me.
Right.
You know, and so now we're in an era of time that even what you're doing, Michelle, and out there in Sofu, and I decree that your steps will be so
Thank you.
enlarged. It shall be.
It
shall be enlarged. You haven't seen anything yet. I just, pray that, those sons will continue to grow and be kings, that
They will.
represents
They
your
shall
legacy,
be.
and they
They
shall.
say it
shall
every
be.
night.
They shall.
They say
They
it
shall.
every night.
They shall. And that's huge because the enemy wants our male seeds.
Yes.
What's that mind?
They want every woman's male seed, which women don't have seed. It comes from the man. The man have seed. So really the attack is against the man, but it comes through the woman. That's why we as women, we got to know who we are from that dunamis standpoint, that
Right.
spiritual standpoint, because
Right.
now you're working against that. You got the kids, but where the hell you think they came from? You know what I mean? Come on. It was something about that man. You know what I mean? So, but however, only God gives life, So what you're doing is going to just spread like wildflower,
Thank you. I really
because
appreciate
it's
that.
really,
And you too.
it's God ordained.
Yes.
Thank you.
He's using you.
Thank
He's
you.
using you. And our history is so prevalent in us
Yes.
that no longer can we just talk about it. We got to
We are
show
history.
it.
Yeah.
We got to be about it. That power, that dunamis in your life, in your legacy, not just in your business, because you can have a great business. And I know many people, they got millions of dollars, billions or whatever. But when you look at their home, some issues.
It is. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's the truth. It's some issues, It's just the truth.
Well, let me say too one thing that you spoke about, Michelle, because I've been really kind of ruminating on this for a while, and I've had a couple of discussions. But what you were saying about the history and things, and I think it was I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker. I think it was that movie. But you remember the movie where the black guy, he was married to the white woman,
Yes.
and the
yes.
kids were like, "Hey, brother," remember the kids were like dressed in African garb. And I can't remember what
think
movie
it was.
it
I can't
was,
remember.
but it was hilarious because he was like, Abraham Lincoln was a white racist pit. He was, but this was the white kid.
Yeah.
Yes.
Saying it.
yes.
So that was all in jest, obviously. But here's my point. What happens and what has happened to us, and I don't have anything against intermixing or whatever.
no.
But what happens is that we don't have identity. Our identity does not
Yes,
get
yes.
passed down.
Yes.
So I think it was just, it was funny, but it was very, I thought, intelligent of them to place that
Yes,
piece in
yes,
there.
yes.
Because what he was trying to do was bring his history and impart it into his children, even
Yes.
though his children looked completely
The
different
epidermis
Yes,
was different.
yes.
than what he was. And every other culture does it. The Jews,
Yes.
Asians,
Yes.
Indians, Hispanics, they have this rich, deep culture,
Yes.
and it is
And they
passed
live by
down.
it.
They
They
live
live by
by the
it. They live by the
principles.
principles.
Mhm.
Yes.
But
yes.
we have that, but because it was tried to be taken.
Taken, yes,
right?
yes.
Or
yes.
we haven't done a good job of standing firm
Yes.
and living in those principles. And I'm as guilty of it as anybody. There's no judgment here,
And-
right?
and-
But
yeah.
we're not passing that stuff. So when we do something different, we end up adopting somebody else's culture.
And
we end up
yeah,
adopting
we do,
something
we do,
else.
we do,
Exactly.
we do. And to in everyone's defense, we really don't know how to. You know, if I was to change the whole
Yeah.
name of my conglomerate of entities of Dunamis, it would be so simple. How to LLC. You know what I mean? You know, and in every way, how to, because the main thing that have suffocated us from understanding spiritual principles is religiosity. You know what I mean? We're so busy trying to be the Jesus and do, but we don't see the principles that he lived by.
Right.
Principles work for the bond, for the free, for the blue, for the ugly, for whoever it is. And that's why when principles, rather those other cultures use, they're using principles.
Right.
You know
right.
what I'm saying? The mafia killing somebody is still a principle.
That's
You know,
still
like,
living
it's a
life. That's what they
principle.
do.
You know,
That's
it's
it.
not what you did, it's why you did
And
it.
we need to live and die by those principles, just like our ancestors did.
Yes.
100
Yes.
years ago or 2,000 years ago.
Exactly.
We need to pass it to our children, whether they're black, white, brown, whatever.
And that's why I am here, D Speaks You Think, as in the ATL, spiritual leader, life and relationship coach, to teach you about principles, you know, for how you could position your whole life, your business, your legacy, your children, your everything. We're going to be right back. We're going to take a break for our last final segment that's going to empower you with some spiritual principles.
Your spiritual leader and life and relationship coach. And I'm so excited because I have an awesome show that's just for you right here on Rolling Out Live. Yes, that's it, Rolling Out Live, every Tuesday from 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. You were going to get insight, because when D speaks, you think. We're going to have real talk about life and relationships, because we got real problems, we got some real issues, but guess what? When D speaks, you think you're going to come up with a real solution about your life and relationships. So I want you to join me. Don't forget, every Tuesday from 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. on Rolling Out Live, and I have a special segment just for you. It's called Dear D. That means you can ask your questions. You can get insight about your life with specificity. So I want you to join me, because it's going to be live. And follow me on Facebook at Dunamis D. And you can also hit me up or follow me on Instagram at D Speaks You Think. See you soon.
Your favorite entertainment source has expanded. Rolling Out, the nation's best source for entertainment and lifestyle information, now has a lineup of web-based shows and podcasts on its newest platform, Rolling Out Live, every Tuesday from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. For all things related to the spirit industry, with 100 Proof Radio Show, to cuisine with La Kitchen, and inspiration and relationships with Dunamis Women in Lipstick and Cognac. Rolling Out Live is your weekly digital destination. So tune in every Tuesday on rollingout.com and Rolling Out on Facebook. Don't miss it.
Well, welcome back to D Speaks You Think, you all. We are at our final part of the show.
Yes.
I'm feeling a little some sort of type of way right now. But you know what? Every ending has a beginning. You know what I mean? So I'm so grateful that we have been connected. I need to hear you all's final sentiments about everything that we talked about before I just take it on home.
I'm going to be really short and to the point and just say, women, you can't have it all. You can do it. You cannot do it by yourself.
Nope.
And there's a measure of healing that is needed in our land, individually as well as collectively. And history is important, but also knowing who you are is major.
Yeah. And let's take our power back, because that's one of the things that they wanted to do to us as the ratchet slave masters, is bring division amongst us, competition, jealousy, and you all, real talk, it's still happening. So let's break that. Let's break it. Michelle?
I love what you said, just to piggyback on what you guys said. But I think the biggest thing is purpose. I speak a lot about purpose.
Yeah.
And we are all purposed to do something. And most of us are not living in our purpose. And how awesome would it be if you could be living in your purpose?
Yes.
Making money from your purpose.
Yes.
And being significant in your purpose. So
Yes.
there's a difference between success and significance.
Yes.
That's it.
And we are here to impact somebody. And the question I'll leave everybody with this is this. Who's not fulfilling their purpose because you're not fulfilling yours?
That's it.
Yeah.
That's
And
it.
you know when you are fulfilling your purpose, because when it is his purpose for your life, you will do it without even money being thought of.
Exactly.
You will get
That's
up.
exactly
you
right.
will do it for free.
Yep.
Check
Yes.
yourself. Would I matter of fact, I am doing it for free. I have
think about
been.
it.
No, seriously, I have, because you got to pay your dues, and knowing that it's proven that you are in the place that you're supposed to be.
Right.
Because now, don't get me wrong. Oh, billions is attached to me. You understand what I'm saying? I'm
Sure.
glad I know you, Michelle, because I'm going to be a blessing to your life.
I believe it.
I'm going to be
No
a blessing.
doubt.
I
You
don't
already
want
have
to
been.
just be blessed.
You already have
I
been.
want to now be a blessing.
Yep.
And that's when you're in purpose, because your whole mind changed, your whole way of thinking. It's no longer, as you stated in the very beginning, about you.
No, it's never about us.
It's about and
never about
mainly it's
It's
about
mostly about my husband because he's amazing, Sir Willis.
Oh yeah. He is, and I haven't even met him yet.
Oh, you'll meet him.
right.
You've met him already. Trust me, he is watching. You have absolutely met him. He's met you.
Because realistically, as a dunamis woman, you cannot be a dunamis woman and you don't believe in our real awesome men.
That's right. I agree.
Because you
That's so
came from a real
Yes, you
awesome
did.
man.
Absolutely.
The man planted the sperm, but the woman did the birthing. So we all work together, and that's what the society is trying to diminish. And we as women, we have to know how to lift them up, build them up with our tongue, pray for them, and to stick with them in spite of their own deficits and idiosyncrasies,
Yep.
because we work together.
Yep.
And with that being said, I want to let you know as we go out of here that our whole mantra scripture for dunamis woman is Ephesians 3:20. Now unto him who will do exceedingly and abundantly above all that you could ever ask or think, according to the power, that's that dunamis, that worketh where? On the inside of you. And it's not for you, it's for the future generations. That's verse 21. So everything you need is on the inside of you. Don't ask for it. Think about it, talk about it, be about it, do it. Because guess what, women? You can have it all, but you can't have it all with understanding who you are. And that's real talk. That's real talk.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Michelle.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Michelle and Dee. I
Thank
appreciate you
you.
guys
Thank you,
having
Thank
me.
you, Sharon,
Bye, guys.
Joshua,
All right.
everybody
Y'all have a
who's
good
out
one.
there.
Have a good one.
Dunamis woman.